Man, they lost again in embarrassing fashion. They always start slow. They'll be fine. Dude, I just don't understand how you can be so calm when your team's below 500 after 14 games. Oh, I forgot about that. Hi, I'm Weston. I love talking about the Astros, and I'm here to talk about Game 14 of the regular season, where the Astros lose 6-2 to the Texas Rangers in the first game of the Silver Boot Series, and yeah, that one sucked. Obviously, this isn't the worst game the Astros have lost by run differential, and then you have the debate of the walk-off home run, and this, that, and the other, losing on opening day when you were having the banner unveiled. I think this, in a vacuum, might be the worst loss of the season for the Astros. For the lone reason, they just never felt like they were in this game. The Rangers got one run in the first inning, and it just never felt like it was going to swing back for Houston, and it didn't. The offense was not wonderful. You had a couple of good performances, but even that is kind of subjective because it's just hard hit data. Kyle Tucker and Martin Maldonado had the two best games, I would say, of the team. Tucker had 4 hard hit balls, and so did Maldonado. Maldi went 2 for 4 with a home run. Tucker went 1 for 4. Yordan Alvarez hit a home run. Bregman had a couple of hard hit balls. A 236 expected batting average for your team isn't too bad. Mauricio Dubon had another base hit because of course he did. The offense just didn't cut the mustard. 6 total hits and 4 walks. And that honestly feels a little bit surprising. It really was a game where they just never felt like they were in it. McCormick left injured. That's a storyline that we can touch on briefly. He left with vision issues, and I have no idea what that means. That's one of the most cryptic tweets the Astros have ever sent. I gotta be honest with you. What does that even mean? But the elephant in the room is Luis Garcia. A bad night. 5 innings of work, 5 earned runs, 6 hits, pair of walks, 7 strikeouts. That's solid. I think 12 swings and misses. That's solid. 7 hard hit balls. Garcia was bad. And I said going into the season that you were going to get one of 2 extreme ends of the stick, where Luis Garcia was either going to change his whole pitching format, his wind-up, and be great, and it's a revelation, and he just tears it up, or over 7 ERA. I think I said over 7 ERA. And through 3 games, it's early. He has got to have a gem of a start in his next game, or else, again, I'm not going to say you throw in the towel on a pitcher like Luis Garcia, who through his first couple seasons of his career has been very solid for you. Had some big moments last season. But, good Lord, you might have to think about him as long relief or a reliever because, man, a 7.71 ERA through 3 starts is horrifying to look at. You're closer to an 8 than a 6. It's the elephant in the room. There's no other way to put it. It's been a ghastly start to the year for Luis Garcia. Maybe it's being moved to the pen. Maybe it's a short little send-down rehab thing where you put him in AAA for a couple of games and let him get his swagger back. His swagger back. But man, oh man, it's been terrible to the start of the season, or for the first couple of games of the season for him. The bullpen was fine. Phil Maton had an inning of work. He picked up a strikeout, didn't give up any hard contact. Stanek was all right, gave up a walk, got a strikeout in his inning. He was fine. Seth Martinez was okay. He did give up a pair of base hits, only 1 hard hit ball, picked up a strikeout in his inning. Ronel Blanco gave up another run and a walk and a pair of hits in his inning of work in the 9th. Again, the game was pretty much already over at that point, so I'm not going to be too critical of it, but another person who, first couple games, I was blown away with, has sort of come back down to earth since then. I know reliever ERA is not a good statistic because 1 or 2 bad games can just blow it up, but 7.50 as a reliever ERA looks, it's ugly. And again, I want to just try to put everyone's mind at ease, which I feel it necessary to do whenever there's a game like this that is, there's no other way, it's a wet fart. There is no other way to phrase it. That's just what it is. That is this game in a nutshell. I am not concerned about the team as a whole. You're missing some key players. It's very early on in the season. You're in game 14 of 162, and there is flat out too much talent in the starting 9, in the bench or on the bench, in the starting 5 rotation, and in the bullpen for this team as a whole to finish below 500. That is not even a conversation that I will even just humor for a long while. We're not even going to begin to have that conversation. They're too talented to miss the playoffs. I would go as far as to say they're too talented to not win over 90 games. Point blank. You can have concern for certain players, and that's totally fair. Jeremy Pena had another 0 for night. His batting average is hovering around 200. That's not good. And it's not a Bregman 200 where he's been very unlucky, but he's drawn a crap ton of walks, and so his OBP is still like 350. Pena's looked rough to start the season. Luis Garcia is a bit of a dumpster fire for the first 3 starts of his season. And again, 3 starts is early, but that ERA is very, very not a lot of fun to look at. You can have concern for individual players. I'm not concerned about this team. Everyone needs to relax, and remember, they always start terribly. I said at the start of the year they would start 7-10. And I want to say they are now 6-8. So I'm nearing that point of being dead on. And I hope I'm not. I hope they win the next 3 games, and I am incorrect. But I am not panicked about this team, and you shouldn't be either. I had a DM sent to me by a super long-time viewer of the channel, one of the OG of OGs for this channel, the other Weston, Howdy, and he asked, when do you start to panic, or when do you press the panic button? And I'll tell you what I told him, which is, if they are below 500 by game 30, if they're, like 13-17 by game 30, then you might start to panic. But if they're above 500 or at 500 at game 30, you're fine. You don't press the panic button yet. I think and again, even with the individual players, I think any harsh judgment has to wait till after game 30. The Astros will look to rebound tomorrow evening and take the second game of the series at 7:10 Eastern, 6:10 Central, when they send Hunter Brown to the mound, and the Texas Rangers will send John Gray to the mound. I'll be here afterwards to talk about it, but as for right now, that is all I have to say, so if you enjoyed this video, please consider to like and subscribe. Thank you all so very much for watching. I hope you all have an absolutely fantastic day, and as always, go Astros.